Hi kids, welcome back to the class. So in this chapter we are going to learn about what is respiration and reproduction in the living things. Okay, so this is the third lesson of your science. Okay, so what is respiration? Respiration, as we know, the inhaling and exhaling is called as respiration. So how the respiration happens in both plants and animals, how the reproduction happens in both plants and animals, this we are going to learn in this chapter briefly. Okay, so can we start saying? I am going to teach about what is the respiration and reproduction, how the respiration and reproduction happens in a living organism. Okay, so what is a living organism? A thing which has life, a thing which has grow, so that is called as a living organism. So what are the living organisms? Plants, animals and human beings are the living organisms. How the respiration happens? What is the respiration? All living things need oxygen. So all the living things, either it is plants or animals, both need oxygen. Okay, need oxygen to burn the food within the body. So what should happen now? They need oxygen which they want to get their body to do all the activities and other things also. So the food we eat will burn and turn as the form of the energy as oxygen. Okay, so all living things need oxygen in different ways. So each and every living being need oxygens. It involves exchanging of, so what is this respiration? What is the exchanging of energy? What is this called as? It needs two gases. So what is that is? Oxygen and carbon dioxide. So you all know the air which we breathe in is oxygen and the air which we give out is carbon dioxide. Yes, so if it comes in case of plants, what they will do is they will breathe in carbon dioxide and they will give out oxygen. So only we are saying that we have to grow more plants around our house. Yes, so can we see the next one? So how we are respiring, how we are breathing in? So it is through the nose and the mouth. It is through our either nose, mouth and our windpipe and our lungs. So who are the main part of this to take a breath is the nose, mouth, the windpipe and the lungs. So the thing that is the oxygen which we breathe will get into our nose, through the windpipe it enters to our lungs. So this is the form of, this is the lungs, and through the nose it gets enter in through the windpipe, and through the windpipe it gets into the lungs. Okay, so the oxygen we breathe in enters to the lungs through our nose and the windpipe to the lungs and passes to our, so from the lungs it passes to the different parts of our body where the burning of food is happen, where it to be considered as the energy to carry out for all the activities. Okay, so once it enters into the lungs, the lungs will divide the energy which is the energy which we needed for our body, then it converts which we don't want to get. So what the lungs is do is after that after the procedure of respiring, that is after dividing the food as energy, the lungs will release out the carbon dioxide. So this process of inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide is called as respiration. So the respiration happens through our nose, mouth and through the windpipe, and it enters to the lungs. From the lungs the energy is separated, the energy which we want it is taken as, then the energy comes out through the breath as carbon dioxide. Okay, so how this breathing is happened in animals? So first we can see about how it is happening in fish. So now see, the fish lives in water. So how the fish breathe while in water? So the water enters through the mouth and it gets into the gills. You all know fish breathe through the gills. So the gills is the main part for the breathing. So once the water enters water enters through the mouth, it reaches the gills. The gills, that is from the gills it passes to the all parts of the body. The gill carries blood vessels in the fish. So what the gills do is it will take the necessary oxygen from that, and it will send out the carbon dioxide through the form of the gills. So once it enters through this, from the gills you can see the gills will open and close. Always the gills will opening and closing. So from that it will goes to the water out. Okay, the next one is frogs. So you all know frog is an amphibian. What is an amphibian? If an animal lives both in land and water is called as an amphibian. Yes. So in same way The frog can live both in land and water. So how the frog breathes? Same way the frog has lungs. So same, the opening of the mouth, the oxygen enters to the mouth and it reaches the lungs, and from the lungs it has a small soft moist skin. It also can breathe through the skin also. Their skin is so soft, so from the skin also it will start breathing. But in case of a tadpole, what is a tadpole? The small of the frog is called as a tadpole. Yes. So how the tadpole will breathe is through its gills. The tadpole, it is otherwise called as a fish because it will live in water. Where the frog will lay its eggs, it will lay its eggs in the water. So from the water it started its life cycle. Yes. So while a frog, if it is in tadpole, it will breathe through its gills because the skin won't grow properly. So once if the tadpole grows into a frog, it starts breathing through its lungs. Okay. Okay, the next is how this breathing happens in the insects. So these insects have the air which it enters through the spiral of the body. This is called as the tracheae, otherwise called as spiracles. It has a small pipe through its nose or mouth. So it will the blood, the oxygen, the air it breathe, it enters through the pipe and it get into this tracheae. This tracheae will separate the oxygen and the carbon. Once it breathes it, the air which goes out is the carbon dioxide. In the same cockroaches also. Next, this how the same process, the breathing process is happening in the plants. As we all know, the plants breathe in carbon dioxide and it will give oxygen. So only we are saying to plant more trees around your house because the plants give us fresh oxygen. The plants give us fresh air which we want to breathe to live in. Okay. So breathing in plants through small openings. So what will happen is in the leaves has small openings which is called as stomata. Stomata. So these stomata help a plants to breathe in the carbon dioxide and to send out the oxygen. So these green color leaf will prepare the own food by itself, which is called as the chlorophyll in the presence of the sunlight. Okay. Okay, now I am going to say an activity to find how the lime water turns to milky. So what you are going to do is take 2 equal quantities of gram. Okay, soak it in the water. So that is this night if you are soak it in the water. The next night please drain off all the waters. So now you are going to take equal quantities of gram seeds in 2 jars. Okay, so please place it in the 2 jars. So now what you are going to do is you are going to take one of the soaked gram into boiling. So bring it to boiling. So you have boiled, that is the seed is cooked. In the equal quantity of the seed, one part, that is one quantity of the seed is cooked. The another quantity of the another quantity of the gram you are just keeping there. Okay. So what you are going to do is you are going to cover the both cooked jars and the another one, that is you have taken 2 equal quantities. Now one is cooked and another one is raw. So now what you are going to do is you just close the jars. Okay. So after 2-3 days open the jar and add lime water. That is after 3 days you are going to add lime waters in both the jars. Lime water turns milky where the seed is not boiled, that is the raw seed. Yes, what happens, the lime water turns into milky. Milky is nothing but a form of milk or a milk water is called as milky. So what will be happening in this jar, the lime water turns into milky because the seed is not boiled. But in case of where the seed is boiled, nothing will be happening. Why the lime water turns milky is due to the presence of the carbon dioxide. Okay, the germinating seed breathe out carbon dioxide. The seeds with germinate. What I told, what is a germinating process? The process from which a seed which grows into a seedling or a plant is called as germination. So the germinating seeds, the plants with the seed which is going to ready to grow, that plants alone will change because they will breathe out the carbon dioxide. So in case what will happen in the boiled seed, it won't happen. The plants won't go because we have killed the seed. Once a seed is boiled, we have killed them. Okay. The next one is, So how reproduction happens in living things? What is reproduction? The process of producing the more of its own kind. Same adhe madri if you are producing another one is called as reproduction. So we can see the methods of reproduction is this. So why the reproduction should happen to life continue on the earth. For example, if we take a lizard, if the lizard is not reproducing, what will happen? There will be no lizards there. So that's all, the lizards generation will be over. So to follow the earth to be continue on, the reproduction process should be taken place. So animals reproduce in different types. Animals, insects, both will reproduce in different types. We can see what are the types. So first one, reproduction in animals. So have you all find these animals anywhere? Can you see with this small babies? So these animals give birth directly to their young ones. Okay. So animals, all animals do not reproduce in same way. So can you see how the birds will reproduce? It will reproduce through by laying eggs. So these are the animals which give birth to their young ones. Okay. Okay, these are the animals which reproduce by laying eggs. What they will do is they will lay eggs and they will hatch for some days, and they from the egg the young one will be hatched. Okay. The next one is reproduction in frog. How the reproduction in frog is happening? So what the frog will do is it will lay eggs in the water. What the frog will do? It will lay eggs in the water. From the egg, the tadpoles are formed. As I told, the tadpoles breathe through its gills. It will be like a small fish. From the tadpole, it is get into a tadpole with like small legs will be get. Then from that froglet, the small of the frog is called as the froglet. From that the adult frog will be grown. So this is the life cycle of a frog. Okay. Next one, how the reproduction in reptiles happen? What is a reptile? What we will call as a reptile? The reptile has cold blood. Their blood is cold, and they have scales on their body to keep their body moist, to crawl on their land. So to crawl on the land, the reptiles' blood are cold blood. They are called cold-blooded animals. So how they will hatch their young ones? By laying eggs. So the reptiles also reproduce their young ones by laying eggs. Okay. Next one, reproduction in insects. How the reproduction happens in insects is, it is through a life cycle. The reproduction in insects will go on different stages. If you take each insect, all the insects should undergo a process of a stages of life cycle. Just like that, if for example in the before and all, the snakes it will lay eggs. From the eggs, the small one will be hatched, and some other animals, what I told, it will directly give birth to young ones. But in case of butterfly, it have to go to many stages as a life cycle of a frog. So what the butterfly will do is, it will lay eggs in the downside of the leaf. From the egg, the caterpillar will be formed, and from the caterpillar, the chrysalis is formed. That is called as a pupa. And from the chrysalis, the adult, that is once the chrysalis, the pupa is dried, a small adult emerges from that pupa, and then we are getting an adult butterfly. So this is the life cycle of a insect. So life cycle of a insect alone will grow on a long procedure or long process to get a new one. This is the reproduction of the insect. Next one, how the reproduction is happening in plants. As I told, why the reproduction should happen now? So to grow into a new plant, another plant. Okay. So like plants, animals also there are many ways for growing a plant. As you all know, by seeds. If you plant a seeds, it will grow into a new plant. If you cut a stem and if you place it in a pot, it will grow into a new stem. So same way, there are many ways for a plant to reproduce. So the method of obtaining new plant is called as vegetative propagation. That is the method for getting a new plant from the old or parent plant. That method is called as vegetative propagation. The new plants are obtained from its stem, leaf, roots. So there are many ways. Can we see that ways? So the first one is underground stem. The plants which grow from underground stem and roots. So these are the plants which grow from the underground roots. Can you see, if you get your potato from the shop and if you are keeping till 1 month, what will happen now? You can find small buds, that is eye buds. They will called as the eye buds. They are called as eye buds. From that eye buds, you can find small stems in that. So that make a plant to grow new one. Okay. So these are the plants which grow from the underground, and this is the plants which grow from this. Can you see which is the vegetable is this? Carrot. The carrot grows through the underground plant. Okay. The next one is, it is called as, some plants will go through their bulb. Now bulb is nothing but the shape of the seed, the shape of the thing which allows it to grow is called as a bulb. Okay. So in this, the example is gladoli. Okay. This is the flower which grows from the bulb of the given plant. Okay. Can find some onion also. What is the shape of the onion? It is in the shape of the bulb. No. So same way, if you plant onion also, the on onion also come like this. So next one, the another method of the plant reproduction is stem cutting. What is stem cutting? If you take a rose plant, if you cut the stem of the plant, if you place it in a pot, it will grow into a new plant. This is known as stem cutting. Can you say another name of the plant in stem cutting? Hibiscus. So hibiscus also goes through the stem cutting. The same way, if you cut the part of a plant and if you place it in somewhere, it will grows into a new plant. So some plants reproduce in stem cutting way. And the next one is by layering. Layering is nothing but, that is what we are doing now. We will take the plant and we will dip into the next layer of the sand. That is next to the other sand, we are going to dip it. Okay, so this is the plant which goes by layering. So for example, jasmine. Have you noticed the jasmine? It will be first, it will come like shrubs, and the next one from that, that is the branches. The branches will be dipped into the mud. So by layering, the jasmine plant will be grown. The next one is grass. Can you find grass? We can find grass everywhere. Wherever if the place is not by, if the place is young, dry and moist, we can find grasses. So the grasses, growing of grasses is called as creeping stems. They have creeping stems. What is creepers? Which will grow by creeping on the ground. That is called as creepers. You told, no? So the grasses will have creeping stems. They are otherwise called as runners. So they will be creeping on the ground. Okay. So the next layer, it starts its roots to grow from the next plant. And the next one is plant which grows from the leaves. So we have seen till now, plants will grow from stem cutting, underground stem, roots. There are many methods for a plant to reproduce. This is the last method by which a plants will reproduce through the leaves. See, this is called as the bryophyllum plant. What will happen here is, the leaf has small buds in the edges of the leaves. The plant has small buds in the edges of the leaves itself. So from the leaves, a new plant will start growing. Okay, so this is a bryophyllum plant. Okay children, what we have learnt in this class, respiration and reproduction, or what and all happening in the insects, animals and plants. Have you all clear with this chapter? Thank you. We can see in the next class.